Hello and welcome to another episode of Frogs Hollow TV. My name's Toby Cooper, and joining me on the panel once again is Geordie Batchelor. How are you, Geord?
Good, thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries. Another huge show planned tonight. We'll look back at last weekend's Waikerie Riverland Enduro and the Zooms Cup at Inglewood, the recent GAT 150 at Hillston, hear from Toddy Lehmann, Jay Mitchell and Toby Whateley before looking ahead at this weekend's Loveday 400 Round 3 of the AORC for 2025. So straight into last weekend's ARB Waikerie Hotel Riverland Enduro, Round 2 of the ARB Australian Championship. And the weekend belonged to South Australians Toddy Lehmann and Bradley Jacob, finally champions of a national round, Jordan. It's great to see.
Well, it's good to see Toddy get a win in a national event, and hopefully it's many more to come for him, eh?
I think it will be. I mean, that's his fourth outright victory now in the Jimco, the ex-Shane Elphinstone car.
Yep.
And he got that, I think, the start of last year, so he's only had around that 18 months or so. And just keeps going leaps and bounds. He sort of made that first big step for me at Millicent last year when he come third behind Danny Brown and Dale Martin. But here he is at arguably one of Australia's toughest events by all reports, an absolutely brutal race. I think everything I've heard over the last 3 or 4 days, I mean, yeah, they're just talking it up to being...
it had everything.
Everything. Big rocks, big holes,
and
skatey, bull dust, just typical off-road race. That's what it's about, Geord. At the end of the day, everyone goes out there to...
That's it. We don't do it because we like it. We do it because we love it.
Love it. So Lehmann led from start to finish, took the prologue win, dominated Saturday's short course action, and then outlasted them on Sunday in tough conditions. Was only really ever threatened by Greg Gartner. We watched the live stream, mate, but... yeah, it's a true performance from Lehmann, and I don't think anyone could be more deserving than...
No, mate, you can't take that away from him. Like, he led that from start to finish, so you don't get that very often.
No, not of those big races.
No.
Last week, I was lucky enough to once again catch up with Toddy Lehmann after his Waikerie success. Enjoy. It's an honour to welcome back to Frogs Hollow TV new Waikerie Enduro champion Toddy Lehmann. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Going well. Congrats on your big win, an amazing achievement. It was more a look of relief on your face when you got out of the car. Must have been a great feeling.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty daunting there, taking off on Sunday with the likes of Greg and Aaron Havey and Owen sitting there behind us, just trying to work out what sort of pace we needed to set. Put in a cracking first lap and, yeah, then give us a little bit of a buffer and then come in for our 45-minute break, and car was all good. Just had to put tyres and fuel into it, and then just get it home after those next 3 laps.
And tell us a bit about the track. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk there, but
the track was great. It's a bit of everything there. Some long, fast, sandy stuff, some flowy hills out the back, and then there's some rocky sections through the middle there that was pretty harsh on the gear, but, just drive to the conditions and get through those bits, and then you can really put the foot into it and have a crack out the back.
And you said you did, I think in the interview, you did 6 rear tyres over the weekend, did you?
Yeah, we were just running some, well, they weren't new for prologue and for the short course racing, so then we put newies on for Sunday morning. By the time we got in after 3 laps, there was nothing left of them, so then we were lucky enough to borrow a couple of Mickey Thompsons off of Clayton and Chapman, and by the time we crossed the finish line there, they were not much on them either.
You went in the service break with around a 2.5 minute lead over Greg Gartner, who's been there, done it before. He was actually the last champion of Waikerie when it was a national round in 2018. That gap quickly narrowed to 27 seconds leading that last lap. Did you have any idea where he was, mate? And when you finished, did you know he had a flat that sort of pulled him up a bit?
Yeah, it was bloody great to see Greg back out there racing after what he's had to go through. We had a good tussle out there. We knew he was coming. I was probably a bit, probably being a bit lazy there on the lap 4. We then we caught some golf carts on a big straight through the middle that was punching straight into the wind, and the dust wouldn't blow away. So we need to come to a stop there. And then at about the halfway mark of the lap, come back past the pits, and we got some comms back to the pits saying it was 27 odd seconds. So we had to, put the foot down and try and get a bit more of a gap there.
And the Waikerie event, they've always put on a great show down there, but looked like it was, just like they left off, mate, a few years ago, the national round.
Yeah, it was really good. They got a lot going on there. They were trying to run club, state, and the national level there just to get all competitors involved in it. And the event was flawless. It was, they've done a really good job there.
So what's next, mate? That's now 4 victories in your 6 starts with the new Gymco. Going to win in a few weeks. You're going to head up there for a crack?
Yeah, it's looking like we'll get the car all prepped up. Doesn't look like there's too much damage from the weekend. We'll just do our general prep and, load her up into the truck and go and check out Gundy. I've never been up there before, so, it'd be good to have a bit of a look around.
Definitely, mate. And obviously the confidence, you must feel a bit of a relief to get that first big victory. I know it's been coming for a couple of years now, that good hustle with Martin and Denny Brown at Millicent only around 9 months ago, and now you finally ticked off the victory, and now it's sort of, a lot more wins ahead, hopefully. Yeah,
that's it. We'll just keep doing what we do, and not too much will change, really. We'll just still do the same prep. It's all 90% won and lost in the shed, I think. You just got to get it ready, and, the car's set up perfect, so we're sort of, it's just general race prep that we've got to do, and, get our head around Gundy. It's a bit different track to all the others, apparently, from what I've heard. So, we'll get up there and, see what we can do.
Anyone you'd like to thank for making the Waikerie weekend a success, mate?
Yeah, basically everyone at the Waikerie Club. They've done a great job there putting the event on. Road Earth Movers, Jaffa Limestone, Integrity New Homes. Craig Harrison builds a great motor for us. He had 2 motors up on that podium on the weekend, so it's good to see. Just everyone, recovery crews, everyone who helps out at the events. It's great.
Once again, thanks for joining us on Frogs Eye TV. Congrats on your breakthrough victory at Waikerie last weekend. Good luck at Gundawindi and for the rest of 2025.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
Now, I don't know if you agree, Joe, but there is no better side in Australian off-road racing than a high-flying Greg Gartner. We saw it on the weekend at Waikerie. Great to see him back in 2025. And after getting within 30 seconds of the lead, heading into that final 60-kilometre lap, the tyre gods got him. Wasn't to be for Greg Gartner, but still mighty effort to get that second place.
Mate, that bit that we saying he was flying. And, he's a real crowd pleaser. Mate, he puts on a show wherever he goes. Like, hits them jumps flat out, like hitting them whoops flat. Like.
And he was really steady. You could really tell the way he was moving, the way he was coming, handling those corners on the live stream. Watched some in-car from him the other day. That truck, he said in his post-race interview, he thinks it's the toughest it's ever been. The crew do a lot of work behind the scenes. Hats off to Greg Gartner and Jamie Jennings and the whole Gartner Motorsports crew, and we'll see them back out very shortly. The ever-reliable Aaron Habe crossed in third after a trouble-free weekend, and great to see the Element back on the podium. Another car, this looks like it's doing it easy, doesn't it? Aaron Habe's.
It looked like he never had any dramas. I think I've seen there once that they were going to change tyres before they went out for another section, but that's just that's the thing.
Geez, how good's Jay Mitchell going though? Just his third run in his newly acquired ex-Melbrand or Lumi craft. I mean, we saw him what he did at Hillston last weekend before, and he's doing great things on the national circuit now. Class 1 win, 4th outright. He has to be happy with that.
No, there's nothing better than that. You got a pro light. You're very close to the podium, and to back it up from Hillston the week before, like, what do you think? He ran second outright, wasn't it? That's 2 big races in 2 weeks. Like,
good effort.
Pretty good effort.
I think Jay Mitchell's another one we can touch on many more times over the future. He's going to be right up there, and been navigating for Matty Burrows now for a number of seasons in the AAB Championship, so sort of knows the ranks. I know he's done a bit with the Griffith Labs over the years too, so always a pleasure seeing Jay Mitchell on the circuit. Bowie Graham produced another great drive, backing up his second from Rainbow. Again, doing great things. Would have definitely found it tough in places in that little Class 10 Illumi craft. But a great drive, and his win by the narrowest of margin. I think he beat Stewie Chapman by 1.6 seconds. As we talked about earlier, George, over 388 kilometres of arguably some of Australian off-road's toughest terrain. That's extraordinary finish.
Yeah, that's a good class battle, that. Like, you know, less than 2 seconds over 380 kilometres of racing. Like, geez, that's a good battle, isn't it?
But the big thing now for Bowie Graham is he heads to Gundawindi, round 3 of the championship, with the lead, the outright lead. So I don't think he'll feel the pressure, Bowie Graham. He just goes about, does his thing. He's ultra consistent. We don't put the commentator's curse on it. We just call it how we see it. Just keeps ticking boxes, and I mean, I think he's going to be hard to beat over the next couple of events.
It's going to be hard to reel in, mate.
Other class winners were Lockie Campbell in his Class 6 Can-Am. Another tremendous performance from young Lockie. Continues to grow in leaps and bounds. And Michael Hackney, Brian Bradford, I mentioned, going all the way from North Queensland down to Waikerie and finished all but one lap. There was a few competitors that they sort of timed off due to the time constraints that didn't quite make the full distance, but still a Class 2 win for Brian Bradford, so well done, mate. And Heath Whedon, who unfortunately got collected by another car in the dust. I think it was on the fourth lap on Sunday afternoon. So well done to Heath and Michelle for grabbing the Class 7 victory. Some notable casualties, mate. Clayton Chapman had engine issues on Saturday. Torque converter in the prologue. Didn't make it to Sunday's action. Tommy Owen and Brett Martin both experienced power steering dramas that put them out of play. Cole Tucker, I think he had
I think it was a fuel pump
and alternator, I think, as well. So a bit going on there for Kyle. Craig Barnett experienced torque converter issues in the Brenthal that he hired for the weekend. And Toby Whateley had some drive issues in his Can-Am Maverick R. So, Joel, that wraps up the 2025 Waikerie Riverland Enduro. What was your biggest highlight from the weekend?
Mate, highlight's got to be Toddy Lehmann. Like, you can't get more dominant than leading from Saturday's prologue all the way through to Sunday. Like, you know, Greg Gartner was coming through there, but Todd held him off, man. So hats off to him. Like, that's a great effort.
I think my two biggest things, Bowie Graham's drive was outstanding, just getting those results, and arguably one of Australia's most consistent performers. And also Lachlan Campbell, I think, it gets underestimated that he's run over the last couple of years, but hopefully we'll see him continue that at Gundawindi. Last weekend was also the annual running of the Zooms Cup 240 at Inglewood, round 2 of the Queensland Motorsport Australia Championship, and the weekend belonged to Dave Luffman in his Honey Badger. We went over, George, we saw it live. He was on a mission.
Mate, he was flying there on Saturday. Like, we went over Saturday and, you know, we called it last week, but mate, he was flying and it sounded impressive.
Doesn't it sound good for those trees? And I mean, they reckon it was pretty wild dust at Waikerie, but I can say firsthand the dust at Ingle wasn't much better.
She wasn't much better out there.
Luckily for the breeze on Saturday, we were wiping that back corner, helping with a bit of recovery, and she was going to stay there for a while. There was no breeze, I can tell you. Impressively, though, George, our tips finished first and second. You tipped Dave Luffman, who crossed, and then I went a bit of a roughie with Conroy Devine, who ended up finishing second outright. He was about 6 minutes off the pace, but a few, I think, tyre issues. And
that's still a good drive for him, mate. Yeah,
definitely. I think it was one of his first times around the track, and I think we did pretty well there.
Yeah, I'd think so. Hopefully we keep doing it.
Wish we could punt like that. Tate Svensson had an electrical issue on Saturday, but finished strong to take third outright. Caught up with him. He said he had a little bit of issue on the dash. To switch the engine off. But he made it through the weekend. Richard Tasman ended the weekend with no power steering at all, loaded on the trailer, knew it was going to be an issue, took the challenge face on, finished fourth, and should have been tough out there. We went around it Saturday morning. The track was pretty rough then. Sunday half.
Mate, I reckon his forearms would be sore on Sunday. Them ruts look fairly solid.
And Tommy Darlington rounded out the top 5, so well done to Tom there. Shout out to Rossi Newman, Matty Lawless, Dave Skinner, and Simon Knight, who was very impressive in that big trophy truck, the Rush truck. He's always puts on a show for the crowd, mate. Throwing up a fair bit of dust, but he was pretty impressive when he was going. I'll tell you what, we're on that far eastern corner of the track there doing recovery, myself and Billy Basham, and he come past us the first time, and I was probably 30, 40 metres away from him. Second time, I reckon I was 60. The amount of rocks he was throwing out, it was... he was on a mission, and I think he won a couple of the sections over the weekend. We had a top flat tyre issue on the Saturday morning. I'm not quite sure of his drama Sunday, but finished a bit down there. But he's he's got race wins under his belt, Simon Knight, when it all goes together. There was also a Socorro Club round that was held in conjunction, and it was dominated by Troy Duff in his single-seat Chenoweth. So congrats to Troy and his crew for that win. Now on to our last review of tonight, the Gap 150 at Mactocton, hosted by the Griffith Off-Road Club a few weekends ago. And in glorious racing conditions, it was local charger Jason Richards who claimed a 2-minute victory over property owner Jay Mitchell, who continues to shine. And what was your take on that little event down there?
Mate, I reckon that's a good effort from Jason Richo. Like the week before, I think he finished fourth outright at Milberdale, and then to go down and back it up at the Gap, like, mate, that's pretty good.
And that's a property, a track he's had. He's led the ARB National around there a couple of times now and had a few late dramas, Richo. But he was pushed all the way, though, from another guy we've talked about already on the show, Jay Mitchell.
Yeah.
And he's just going to be right there in the mix of things over the next few years. The event proved popular amongst the competitors with 10 22-kilometre laps. Just the 18 starters, but looked like a great Saturday down there at Hillston. Congrats also to Brendan Hill for his best race finish to date in the team's home-built Hurricane Class 10, crossing third outright. They've had a lot of issues with that car sort of getting it right.
Just
obviously home-built, just little stuff. And
yep.
I talked to Ian a bit on socials. They always... thereabouts, always quick. I think he's fourth or fifth at Cola at the start of the year. I know he was running pretty well at Milberdale last year. He had a crack at Hillston last year at the national round. But congrats to young Brendan Hill, another name I think we'll see figuring on especially around the New South Wales scene over the next few years.
Yeah,
it's always good to see new names up there. Aidan Coatsworth had his best off-road finish, also in fourth, ahead of two Mendham's George. Alex, though, getting the upper hand, crossing 5 minutes ahead of Dave to round out the Gap 150 top 10. That would have been a nice little battle.
Yeah, Alex getting the chocolates over Dad. That would have been a nice little conversation on the way home. But, you know, it's hats off to them too. They only raced the weekend before again at Milberdale. Like Richo, and, you know, to come home and finish that one, like, consistency's key, isn't it?
A couple of big weekends. And I think that there was a lot of popularity around the event. I think you spoke to Dave and you're back sort of at home.
Yeah.
Work on the car on the Sunday. It sort of works well if you're within that close proximity to the event. And I think we'll see a lot more of that in the sort of years to come, that's for sure. Now, before we go any further, I was lucky enough to catch up with Hillston's Jay Mitchell earlier in the week to talk all things the Gap and Waikerie. Check it out.
It's a pleasure to welcome onto Frogs Hollow TV for the first time Hillston's Jay Mitchell. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How you going? Thanks for having me on the show. Pleasure.
No dramas.
Be here.
You're having a stellar run. Congrats on your result at Waikerie on the weekend. Fourth place finish. You must be proud of how things are going.
Yeah, mate. Look, couldn't really ask for much more in the first national round, really. Went there thinking no real expectations, just to try and finish the whole 400 Ks, and just poked around and didn't do anything silly and got to the finish line, which was good to be there. The last section was sort of every corner you'd hear a new sound and think it's not going to make it, but end up making it there, so it's a good start.
And tell us a bit about your run. As you said, you sort of started around 9th on Sunday. You had some quality big names ahead of you. I suppose the goal was just to get to the finish line. You did that comfortably. Well, not comfortably, but you done it in style. Conditions look pretty tough, to say the least.
Yeah, no, the conditions, probably the racetrack I haven't ever seen before, like rocks. I haven't seen rocks like that anywhere, and it was just that dry over there. I needed very good rain to get things going again. But no, the track was sort of the first couple of laps weren't too bad. But as the sort of limestone shelf, the last sort of 3 or 4 laps got pretty brutal. You couldn't afford to get off the track anywhere. You just had to keep it steady and keep it nice and clean. Otherwise, you flat tyres everywhere out there.
So you've had an incredible start to your driving career with the Illumicraft in your corner, and of course ORC winning car from 2025. Tell us about how that come about, mate.
I was sort of I'd give him a ring there and randomly, and he said, no, it's for sale. I went over there, looked at it, and ended up took a couple of blokes over, had a quick look at it, and they ended up bringing it home. So no, it's a bloody awesome car. Can't thank Mel and Lamb enough for what they've done in the last sort of 6 months since I've had it to get to where it is now. Nothing you could do to that car to make it any better.
No, awesome, mate. You also had a great run at your local Gap 150, literally on home soil down at Mactocton at Hillston. Good little weekend down there, mate.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome little weekend. Bloody good to, especially the first race, it'd be good to have it around sort of a track where I knew where I was going, knew what to expect around it. But no, the bloody good little turnout. good. Went on to Richo for winning it. He was on a whole different level again, as he always is.
Couldn't quite get the old Fox.
No, I reckon he was just playing for me a little bit too. And he's on a whole different level.
Yeah, you'll get there one day, mate. You've been navigating for Matty Burrows now for a few years in his Class 1 Jimco with the Burrows family. And how's that experience, you think, helped your transition to now being behind the wheel?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like, learned a lot off Matt and Mark and all them boys hanging around them. Like, being in the car with Matt and just seeing how he drives and, like, their record, MBR record speaks for itself. There's not a whole lot of DNFs. And, like, their prep and their way they drive, it sort of comes back to, how I plan to drive and just be smooth and clean and get to the finish line.
And I see you've entered the Gundy 500 in only a couple of weeks' time now. Any other plans for 2025? I know you said it just depends on how the car pulled up after the weekend.
Yeah, plan is we'll try and get it ready to go to Gundy. After that, don't really have any plans yet. Maybe something like Warrialda or New South Wales State round. Just going up and down and enjoy the weekend, a bit of short course racing and something like that. No real major plans for nationals anywhere.
I know, mate, there's a lot of people in your corner. Anyone you'd like to thank for their help getting you to the start line over the last few months in the new car?
Oh, definitely, obviously, Mum and Dad and all them for getting me there and all the whole MBR crew. Couldn't thank them enough. They were there on the weekend giving me a hand. The whole 1065 crew were also there. Just, anyone that needed anything off the last few months, they've been happy to help out and show me the ropes and what I need to do on that. And, Richo, big up to Richo and Tanner.
Yeah.
They do a fair bit behind the scenes with me and show me what to do and how to do it. And almost a couple of sponsors too, Key Agri and Lowe's, Hilston, BP. Yeah, pretty good on board and they're pretty good to me. So
good stuff, mate. I think they're on a good thing there. Appreciate your time joining us on Frogs Hollow TV. Again, congratulations on your result at Waikerie and the Racing Gap 150. Good luck to you and the team for the remainder of 2025 and might see you at Warrialda.
No, thanks for having me, Toes. Pleasure.
Thanks, Jay, for joining us on the show, mate. Always a privilege to get these races on the Frogs Hollow TV for the first time, and that's what it's all about.
That's good, mate. Good to see him coming through.
So now into some news from around the grounds. The Gundy 500 and Don River Dash entries are now officially opened. Gundy Windy's coming up very quickly, and Don River's sort of early September, so they'll be here before we know it. Next weekend is also a big one in the Aussie off-road world with the Dong Dingalong Off-Road Challenge over there at Kempsey, the David Larder Day-Night Memorial down there in Millicent, and also the Alice Springs 12-hour Enduro all taking place. So coming up to a really busy time in the off-road world across Australia, and it's exciting.
Busy time of the year, mate. It's good to see him coming.
It is. Plenty of shows. So now straight in our first event preview of tonight's episode. This weekend's Loveday 400 held in the picturesque Riverland region of South Australia. Round 3 of the 2025 ORC. 61 starters, quality lineup once again, and I'm excited, George, because I'm going to be heading down there.
You'll be down there, mate. I'll be. I'm at work that week, I think, but I'll be watching the live stream hopefully. But there's some good names going. I think it's going to be a tough weekend racing.
Well, mate, I studied the field today. The top 6 finishes from the Think Desert race all entered. 7 out of the top 10 from last year's Loveday 400 entered. It's shaping up to be another close national round. Last year, Aaron Habe was dominating before he destroyed his engine there, unfortunately, leaving Boston Morgan Horn to secure his first win in Australia by 24 seconds over Brett Comiskey, who had a great weekend. I think Bo Robinson was third outright.
Yep.
It was a super impressive weekend from the young Kiwi, though. He finished Section 1 in 12th. It was some drive. No, he didn't finish prologue. But Boston Morgan Horn, what do you think? I mean, he goes in the event now. His confidence is booming. He had a great run home from Fink this year. Had a few little issues going down. He was looking to be completely dominant Pooncarie until we saw what happened there.
Yep.
Loveday's another different beast. It's a different mindset. I mean, they do the prologue on Friday afternoon. They do 5 40-kilometre laps on the Saturday and then another 5 on Sunday. The most they're sort of doing at once is 120 kilometres. It's a lot different to these sort of longer national level tracks. Definitely a different mindset, but I think Boston Morgan Horn, if he gets a good start, I think he could be a really big player this weekend.
Well, I think you go on them short stints. I reckon that he'll just have that foot to the floor and hopefully it all works out for him because I think he'll be hard to catch.
I do too. Yeah. He's just one of those competitors now. He just goes in there. He's I think he's 4th in the championship ORC, so still a big player in that as well. If he has a good weekend and something unfortunately does happen to the OBR crews and Jared Percival, he can find himself right up there with 2 rounds remaining. So look out for him. The names are right there, the ABR boys. I mean, Travis Robinson, he couldn't be probably feeling any more confident now he's going to take the Mason all drive truck to Loveday for the first time. Interested to see how quick he can go there.
Yep.
We've seen Hayden Bentley have success there in his four-wheel drive truck, and Brent Smooth, he's been quick there also. Bo Robinson, he doesn't want to finish second and third. Bo, he wants to go these races and win. So if Boston puts a bit of pressure on, he sees little brother there at the front of the pack as well. I think Bo Robinson could be right up there, but I mean, it's one of those really, really uncomfortable, awkward tracks. Like, it's fun to a lot of competitors. A lot of other competitors find it that really hard to get into rhythm, probably because of the shorter laps. But there's some big whoops out the back. There's some big holes. It deteriorates really quickly, and it's going to be awesome to see how it unplays over the weekend. The common trucks heading down there once again. Nick and Andrew looking to put on a show. Nick's another competitor. He's just always biting at the bit to get that really big result. I think he prologued 4th or 5th at Fink this year.
Yep.
And then he had a bit of a moment heading down to Apachula, which a lot of people ended up doing. Great supporters of Off-Road and, of course, Frog Solo TV, so we wish them all the best this weekend. James Cook's back.
He's back
in the Get Performance car. What can Cookie do? We see what he did at Fink last year.
Yeah.
He is... He's next level too when he's on song in that big car.
He knows where that loud pedal is. I'll give him that.
I mean, it was scary what he did in a side-by-side over the years. Of course, he won the Charters Towers event there in 2023. Mike Zacco will be there, prime, ready to go after his 4th place finish at Fink in the big gym car. He's another one if he gets in a bit of a rhythm. And
I reckon he'll be up there by the end of the weekend too.
Royden Bailey, I think he can feature. Yep. He was 2nd or 3rd last year before a late drama put him back. I think he finished 5th last year. Toby Whateley, I mean, home soil, he's done the track more than anybody, maybe except his father. I know he's so confident on the track, but then is the confidence there in what's underneath him? That's the big question. He's had a lot of little teething issues in that rush truck. He just drives it incredibly hard. So I'd love to see Toby Whateley feature all weekend long and just really see where he can sort of stand against.
I'd just love to see him finish, mate. Like, hopefully get all the issues out of the way and get one under the belt. Like, a finish is as good as a win when you're doing a new car.
Hayden Bentley, we mentioned last year's runner-up. Brett Comiskey is going down this year in his extreme four-wheel drive Brenthal.
Yep.
We've got Greg Campbell, Lachlan Bailey in the side-by-sides, and Glennie Ackroyd, another partner of the show. He's definitely going to head into that race, I think, as the side-by-side favourite. So interesting to see how that plays up. So, Jord, who's your tip for the 2025 Loveday 400?
Mate, I've got 3 off the top of my head. I reckon it's not even a roughie, but I'm going to go with Cookie.
Yep.
Like, he's been out of the sport for a little while now, and he'd be just chomping at the bit if it all goes his way. I think that he might be up there. Got Mikey Zacca. Like, I reckon that consistency, like, he's got 2 fourths at Fink in the last 2 years, and if he puts it all together, I think he'll be there. But still, you can't go past Boston Morgan Horan, mate. Like, I think he'll drive the wheels off that thing, and he'll be hard to beat.
It's really interesting because we saw last year Shannon Wrench won in 23. Aaron Habe dominated in 22.
Yep.
Aaron Habe was leading comfortably again last year before engine failure. Then the trucks took over. So it's really hard to read in any form line in that. Aaron Habe's obviously not going to beat it this year. I think Royden Bailey can be on the podium this year. Watch out for the 52 element. Very consistent performer. Might be the quickest all weekend, but there's going to be some carnage. There's going to be the things that happen over the weekend that go, wow, we probably saw that coming. But Royden Bailey, I think we're there. I think Boston Morgan Horn will be right in the mix. I think he'll be on the podium, especially if he gets to the checkered flag. But I'm on the Travis Robinson bandwagon. I think if he can get that four-wheel drive in any sort of zone that was in at Fink, which obviously it would be after just the one race, I think Travis Robinson will be the man to beat at Loveday. And
hard to pull in.
Yeah. Once he gets out in front, it's a leader's track there at the Loveday 400. And we just wish all the competitors all the best. And, we'll see you down there.
How are you, Tobe?
Good. How are you?
Good, mate. It's been a while. How's things down there? Lots changed in your life, mate. How's the little family?
Yeah, they're going all right. Bloody Miles, a little terror, and Tora, the dear one, she's pretty easy. Not too much I can do at the minute, so they don't do too much at this age.
Sure, they'll be looking forward to watching you this weekend, mate. The Loveday 400, round 3 of the ORC. It's all systems go down there.
Yep. Yeah, we've been flat out getting stuff ready and grading the track and sorting out the helicopter pad and stuff like that. Just doing all the minor detail stuff. So she's all go.
And it's another great field assembled for your event at the Loveday 4x4 Adventure Park, expecting it to be a big showdown. Who are you sort of tipping the sort of rough crews to be fighting it out, mate?
Oh, look, I don't know. I was actually thinking about this earlier. I was sitting in the loader cleaning up some stuff. Don't know. It should be a tough race. Depends if there's any rain, I suppose. You know, if we get a bit of rain, it'll be a truck race, I reckon. She'll get pretty cut up. Yeah, it's sort of pretty open, I suppose, depending on the weather. You know, if it's dry, you know, the buggies can probably get up there without the roughness in it. So I really haven't thought too much about it. But the one person that did pop to mind actually was Brett Kaminsky. I was thinking he's a bit of a stayer in the trucks there, and he'll conserve it till Sunday. I sort of thought he might be up there somewhere.
And you said the track. There's always a lot of talk about the Loveday terrain, that's for sure. How's it looking this year, mate? Much the same?
Yeah, very much the same. Yeah. Like I said, though, it's just we haven't had rain here for probably 2 or 3 months, and you know, maybe 2 mil like that. So it's just a big dust bowl at the minute. But it's looking like a bit on the radar on Tuesday. So see if that helps a bit, and then possibly a bit of drizzle over the weekend too. So that might change things.
That'd be good. Keep the dust down anyway. How's your truck, mate? It's been a while since you've been out in the Rush truck. You looking forward to that? I know you're just doing a few things on it as we speak in the background.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to getting back into it. It's been a while, close on a year, I think. So just giving it a bit of an overhaul, try and get a bit more horsepower out of it, and bigger axles, which turned out to be a big exercise. So, but diff just rocked up today, so just bolting a diff in at the minute to try and get it all sorted, and be going to Adelaide for dyno Monday, and hopefully we're all hunky dory then.
I was talking to your dad before, actually, and he said I think there's around 14 or 15 trucks now that have entered the Loveday 400. It's a unique field, and outside of Fink, I don't think I've seen that ever, to be honest.
Yeah, so we were pretty happy with that. Probably had the biggest field of trucks outside of Fink ever. So it should be a good race to watch, you know, I'm battling it out.
The hospitality down there, I'm heading down myself. Always a great time at the Loveday Tavern, fully stocked for the weekend.
Yeah, and I better find you at the bar there, leaning on the corner.
I'd say so for a couple of days.
Yeah, no, we're fully stocked up, and the kitchen will be operational too, so you can grab some food as well, and yeah, all sorted.
What's the menu looking like? Pizzas again? I know your dad said they got a few traditional meals now as well.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be pizzas and just, you know, farmies and schnitzels and loaded fries. Just, genuine things like that. Don't do any steaks. That's about the only thing I think we don't do.
Anyway, mate, thanks for your time on Frog Slayer TV. I have to have a think about that bet because you owe me 100. But good luck to you and the family this weekend, and I'll see you soon, mate.
No worries. Cheers for the chat. I'll see you soon.
So that's a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks again for joining me, Jord, on the panel. Good luck to all those competing at the Loveday 400 this weekend, but more importantly, stay tuned to the next episode of Frog Slayer TV. Cheerio.